Andy Pettitte for the 20th start of the season, 11-6, really coming off a couple of strong outings, more than a hit per inning, but excellent strikeout walk ratio. And those 2 starts before the break, he really had everything working for him.
Speaking of Andy Pettitte working for him, the Yes Scouting Report will tell you this. He's gotten some very good run support since June 8th, his last loss. The Yankees are averaging almost 7 runs per game. And Spencer's been on fire. We showed you that he's been hot. He's 20 for his last 46.
A reminder, everybody, Yankee baseball is indeed broadcast in Spanish. It's available by hitting the SAP button on your television. Armando Vila on the left, Beto Vila on the right, Armando Talavera on the left. And the pitch to Coco Crisp starts it off a little bit outside. 80 degrees first pitch temperature here at Yankee Stadium. Coco Crisp is 6 for his last 12 and trying to become a prototypical leadoff hitter for the Indians. And Andy misses a little bit low.
Yeah, one reason why he got called up from AAA, he was leading the International League in hits and runs and on-base percentage.
That is punched out down the right field line. Fair ball, it's trouble. It's a foul ball.
He stands Kenny up in front of the box, very similar to Alfonso Soriano. Doesn't have the power or the leverage with his swing.
You know, it might come by the way he holds his bat, Kitty, almost right in front of him. And you really have to get it loaded that way. Bring it back before you can bring it forward. Crisp is a much better hitter right-handed. He's hitting over 400 against left-handed pitching. Switch hitting outfielder.
Swing and a miss, and Crisp down on strikes, 1 away.
Well, if the veteran Yankee starters have command of their stuff like this, they can take advantage of an inexperienced lineup. You get ahead of a young hitter. Actually, Andy Pettitte does that to veteran hitters as well. But he has really done a good job in his last few starts of getting ahead in the count. And you'll see Crisp up in front of the box swing right over that cutter.
Here's Casey Blake. And the pitch to Blake is a bit outside. Dale Scott's the home plate umpire. Laz Diaz at first, Jim Joyce at second, and Jim Reynolds is the third base ump. There's a strike.
Casey Blake had a good series against the Yankees in Cleveland. You can see what he's done month by month. He's gotten better as the season's gone along here.
Swing and a miss.
He had 6 hits in the series in Cleveland against the Yankees.
And on their just completed homestand right before the All-Star break, 8-27. They'll play the Yankees and the White Sox on this 6-game road trip. And the 1-2. Missed.
Kenny, I'm wondering, with these nice summer days that Michael was talking about in the early part of the ball game with 7 o'clock starts, is this a problem for hitters picking up the ball? You see there's some shadows and there's some brightness out there.
That one's hit to left field and deep. Going back is Matsui. In front of the track, he'll make the play 2 away.
You know, I think a lot depends, Kitty, on the height of the pitcher on the mound. And Andy Pettitte's a fairly tall pitcher. And that left arm might come out of the brightness up there.
Take a look at the Yankee defense. Matsui, Williams, and Mondesi left to right in the outfield. In the infield, Ventura, Jeter, Soriano, and Giambi. Posada's behind the plate with a .992 fielding percentage this year. And Andrew Eugene Pettitte, the veteran left-hander, is on the mound. Time flies that we can now call him a veteran left-hander.
Yeah. Well, I mentioned if he wins tonight, it'd be his 12th win. It's 75 years since a pitcher, starting with his rookie year, has won at least 12 games in each season. So that's a pretty good production.
Here's a strike. It's been 9 years Andy Pettitte's been a Yankee. So he has been around a while. He's pitched some big games for them, come up in some big games in a big way. And the 0-2. Missed outside to Milton Bradley, 1-2. Pettitte at the start seems quick and crisp.
Just trying to see how much he can get out there.
Swing and a miss, and Bradley down on strikes. Impressive first inning for Andy Pettitte. 3 up, 3 down, 2 strikeouts in those 3. While the Indians don't score in the top of the first, the Yankees coming to bat against Jason Davis.
Commemorate a century of baseball excellence with 100 Years, the official retrospective of the New York Yankees. From Murderers Row of 1927 to the modern dynasties, here is an inimitable portrait of America's team. Just $50 at Yankee Stadium or by calling 1-800-GO-YANKS. Also available at leading retailers nationwide.
Well, the Indians went down easily against Andy Pettitte. How did the Yankees do against Jason Davis? The Yankees starting lineup presented to you by Dodge. Alfonso Soriano, the second baseman, leads off, batting second and playing shortstop. Derek Jeter really coming into his own this July. 5-14, 5 ribbies and 7 runs scored. Jason Giambi, the first baseman, put on a show in the home run hitting contest during the All-Star break. He'll hit third. Batting fourth and playing center field, Bernie Williams. Hideki Matsui, the left fielder, will hit fifth. Hitting sixth and catching, Jorge Posada. The number 7 batter is the third baseman, Robin Ventura. The DH is Ruben Sierra. He'll bat 8th, and batting 9th and playing right field is Raul Mondesi.
And they'll face 23-year-old Jason Davis, his 19th start. He did start against the Yankees in Cleveland and pitched very well. More than a hit per inning. He is very much, I think, Kenny, like the Yankees' Jeff Weaver. Good sinker.
The scouting report will tell you that, Kitty. A very heavy sinking fastball. This will be the second look for the Yankees at young Mr. Davis, and he has an excellent pickoff move. He picked Soriano off first and second in Cleveland.
And Soriano will lead off. Soriano did not have a great road trip to end the Yankees' first half. He was 4 for 23 as his average dipped to 292. The other numbers are outstanding for a second baseman, for anybody really. 22 homers and 52 runs batted in. Foul back. Now, last time out, that was the first time they'd seen Davis. All they had heard about was the scouting report. You see where Alfonso ranks in the American League in all the offensive categories. Are they at any decided advantage because they're seeing him for a second time, Kenny?
Most definitely. As a hitter, you'd like to see a pitcher as many times as possible. Although, you know, some of his stuff might be a little different than it was in his previous start. Maybe his breaking ball isn't as sharp or he can't get it over. But basically, he's not going to throw all that much harder than he did the last time you saw him.
1-1. And there's a foul ball.
You see Soriano, we were talking about Coco Crisp and his position in the batter's box with his bat almost in front of him. And this is the difference. I think Soriano has his bat back over that shoulder where he can generate. First of all, he's stronger than Coco Crisp, but he can generate a lot more bat speed and power from there.
Swing and a miss, and Soriano down on strikes. So 1 away, and that'll bring up Derek Jeter.
This might have been a splitter, Kitty, that put Soriano away. I think I see the splitter grip. Yes, we do. And here's the result. Soriano chases one out of the strike zone.
Well, his pitching coach is a former pupil of mine, Carl Willis. There's Carl seated right there. He and Eric Wedge, the manager, have been together about 4 or 5 years, and he said that's one thing we're doing with Davis. Veteran Buddy Bell, the bench coach, in between, are working with him to take enough off his splitter to make it an effective change.
Pitch to Jeter is outside. Now, we mentioned how the hitters might have an advantage because they're seeing him from the second time. Now, he's a young pitcher. You wonder if he has this capability. But, Jim, as a veteran, if you saw a team twice within a week and a half, would you change the way you were pitching the second time?
Yeah, I never liked it. And with the scheduling, even back in the 70s, you'd face a team tonight, and if you pitch well, then 5 days later you're in their ballpark, or 10 days. And the game you play as a pitcher is that, well, that's a close one there, just outside. You look back, if you had a successful outing, you say, I'm not going to change until they adjust. And I think that's usually whether I think young pitchers like Davis right now, you're just basically relying on your good stuff.
And Jeter works a 4-pitch walk, and he wasn't very wild on that. There were some close pitches.
Yeah, I don't know where that last pitch was. One thing we hear a lot from umpires today, and Dale Scott, before Questek was always a pitcher's umpire, is they'll say, I wanted to call that, but the machine wouldn't let me. You know, they'll say Questek, that ball looked like it was right down the middle.
I'm amazed with all the problems with Questek, or what the players perceive to be problems, that the umpires are actually saying that to catchers.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be calling those pitches tonight. I'm on the computer. I mean, why would you admit that?
Well, the catcher has to go out and tell the pitcher, you got to get it over the plate.
Sit in the middle and throw it down the middle.
Here's Giambi. He had a home run in the All-Star game. Foul back, and he put on a show, as I mentioned before, in the home run hitting contest, but this one counted against Billy Wagner. He went yard deep to right center field at U.S. Cellular, formerly Comiskey Park, and it was a big come-from-behind victory for the American League, and it gave them home field advantage in the World Series. It was supposed to be a year where the National League had home field advantage. Joe Torre was funny before the game. He said, "I'm not for the All-Star game deciding home field advantage. I don't think it's a good idea." He said, "But I don't mind that we have it if we go." Last 3 games, Yankees have gone yard in the All-Star game. Jeter, Soriano, and Giambi, longest streak in Yankee franchise history. Giambi swings and misses, another splitter, and there are 2 away.
Well, I was noticing Victor Martinez positioning behind the plate, and it surprised me a little bit. You see him inside. Now he's pretty much down the middle, because Jason Davis, as he puts Giambi away on that splitter, said he started improving when he had his catcher set up in the middle of the plate and just tried to throw that sinker for the middle and let the movement take it toward the corners. Yeah, that's why I mentioned he's a lot like Jeff Weaver. He could actually pitch without a breaking ball because he's got such heavy movement on that sinker.
Here's Bernie Williams, his first stadium appearance in almost 2 months. He came back on the road trip, and the pitch is a strike, and since coming back, 5 hits and 20 at-bats. Bernie played in Chicago during the All-Star break, but he played his guitar in a House of Blues concert. You see his numbers career here at Yankee Stadium, a .308 lifetime batting average. And a great move by Jason Davis, and Jeter just got back. Davis was a basketball player in high school, and he's got basketball feet, they say.
That's Steve Busby like. You remember Steve Busby, Kitty? He had the best move for a right-hander because he had quick feet. Not quite quick enough to get Jeter, but close.
See, I never got off that far, so I don't have to worry about it. But that, yeah, that was close. They might have had it.
Yep, looked like they did.
A little bit low.
It was very similar to the move that picked Soriano off. In fact, Soriano led the game off with a single in Cleveland, and Davis promptly picked him off. And I believe his good pickoff move allows for only 1 stolen base in those 17 starts.
And then later in that game, he actually picked Soriano off second base as well. Jason Davis is from Cleveland, but he's not pitching from his hometown team. He's from Cleveland, Tennessee. Foul back. When he asks people, when people ask him where he's from, he'll go Cleveland. And they go, well, why do you have that accent? He said Cleveland, Tennessee. So he's not pitching for the hometowners. But they like his stuff. They like his makeup as well.
I think in the early going here, with his splitter working so well, if you're sitting on the bench watching the game as a hitter, you want to try and stay out of a 2-strike count, the way his splitter's been working.
Oh man, our camera's got to be off. I mean, where are those pitches?
There's going to be some misgivings from the Cleveland bench. I mean, there've been a few this inning. I mean, that ball just,
I mean, unless he's setting up inside, that's maybe it did. I mean, where? Boy, Dale. I think Questex got him a little frustrated.
Ground ball, left side, stabbed by Blake across the diamond, and that will do it. As Jason Davis works a scoreless first. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 man left. We go to the second, no score. Well, we go to the second inning. Andy Pettitte retired the Indians in order, 1-2-3 in the first. And here's Shane Spencer making his first appearance in a visiting uniform at Yankee Stadium. Shane had a somewhat up and down career with the Yankees. A lot of potential. He broke in like no one else has ever broken in. 10 home runs in the month of September '98. 3 grand slams of those 10 home runs. And after that, you just kept waiting for it to happen again, and it never did. He put up decent numbers, but never realized the potential that many people had forecast for him. Right now he has a 9-game hitting streak for the Indians. He's 15 for 46. Pitches outside.
In fairness to Shane, I think at times it appeared that he was going to take over a job regularly, but things just seemed to happen to him. He tore up a knee at Shea Stadium just when he seemed to have the left field job nailed down. He's always hit well against left-handers, and he's doing it again this year. He's hitting .300 against left-handed pitching.
Those are his numbers there with the Yankees. .263 batting average.
Yeah, he's a bit of a throwback hitter in that today we see, by that I mean the modern hitter will take the inside pitch and fight it off and go the other way. Shane's strength has always been to pull that inside pitch. You notice the first 3 they've really tried to keep away from him.
There's a strike.
He's always been, he reminds me a little of Bob Horner, that was a great power hitter for the Atlanta Braves. In fact, played for Joe Torre. Anything inside he was very quick on.
That one is hit deep to left field. Going back, Matsui looking up. See ya. A long home run to left field by Shane Spencer. And the Indians are on the board. They lead 1-0.
I had a chance to talk to Shane before the game, along with his hitting coach, Eddie Murray, and Eddie said he's been swinging a hot bat lately, and he's one guy in the lineup you don't want to get behind on the count. 3 balls and a strike. Andy Pettitte forced to come in. Spencer leading off an inning, so the pitch was right there, and well, he made his hitting coach feel proud.
Here's Jody Garrett. Pitches up and in. That's the 8th home run for Spencer. He now extends his hitting streak to 10 straight.
It's one of those remember me home runs.
Yeah. And that happens often when you're facing a guy for the first time and you were teammates. You think about the scouting report. Hey, he's really quick inside. He stayed away, got way behind, like you said, Kenny, in a hitter's count right now. When guys are in a hot streak, if you look at the stat sheet, that's the one thing you want to do is get ahead of them.
Because they're on a streak where they're not going to miss. I mean, you put it in there, they're going to hit it hard somewhere.
Ground ball to first. Giambi beats Garrett to the bag. 1 away.
3-1 count. Posada wanted it outside and high and over the middle.
Yeah, he might be on one of those streaks that Barry Bonds is on all year long.
I don't think Shane is going to make us forget Babe Ruth. But Barry will.
Yeah.
Here's Victor Martinez. And there's a strike.
This young man was not only an MVP in the minor leagues, but a batting champion. And in talking with his manager, Eric Wedge, who's a former catcher there, and I like his approach with what he's telling Martinez. He says your first job is to get everything out of the pitchers that you can, and hitting is second. And he's hit everywhere he's gone, so eventually they know that 205 average is going to be a little bit better.
Kind of sounds like the same advice that Joe Torre had for Jorge Posada at one time.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Well, Eric Wedge was an outstanding catcher at Wichita State, led them to the College World Series championship in the late 80s.
Now he's the youngest manager in the big leagues at 35. Nub slowly back to the mound. Pettitte fields. 2 away.
Eric Wedge is 35, and I asked him before the game, I said, do you get much talk about Lou Boudreau? And he said, all the time. You know how old Lou Boudreau was when he was playing manager for the Indians?
Early 20s, right?
24. Yeah.
They won the world title with Lou Boudreau managing the team back in 1948, the last time the Indians won the World Series.
I don't think there's any way that would ever happen in today's game. There's too much money involved and too much pressure on a manager. I don't think they'd ever make a player manager at that age. He's going to be 6 years older than Wedge in a couple of weeks. He'll be 41. And he had a great inning in the All-Star game. 2 strikeouts. Strike to Broussard. 1-0 Indians. We're in the top of the 2nd inning here at the stadium. Shane Spencer led off the inning with a long home run in front of the retired numbers in left center. That one is driven out to left field. Matsui right there. He'll put it away for the final out of the inning. For the Indians, 1 run, 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left. Shane Spencer reintroduces himself to the stadium crowd. Picks up his 8th home run. Also gets a pretty nice hand rounding the bases. 1-0 Indians going to the bottom of the second.
Come on in, Derek. I thought we discussed this thing and had it all worked out. You're our starting shortstop. How can you possibly afford to spend 2 nights dancing, 2 nights eating out, and 3 nights just carousing with your friends? Oh.
If you want to enjoy the New York nightlife, bring your Visa card, because Orso, Cheetah, and the Broome Street Bar don't take American Express. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
Well, fans, tonight after the post-game audience, it's big news when anchorman and author Tom Brokaw sits down with Michael Kay on the premiere of an all-new Center Stage. A lover of history, Brokaw recounts some of his favorite sports memories, including his childhood baseball idols and influential sports teams. Center Stage, Tom Brokaw, premieres tonight after the postgame, only on Yes. How was that, Michael?
I'll tell you what, he was something else, and he is a real sports fan, and his idol growing up was Jackie Robinson. And people that will watch the show, when he talks about Jackie Robinson, he breaks down. He gets really, really emotional.
Can I see that tonight?
You can see that if you speed home and get home right after the
I can't
postgame.
speed, but I'll get there as quick as we can.
Matsui grounds one to first, 1 away.
Talking to Matsui before the game about his all-star base hit. You know, I congratulated him on getting a hit in his first all-star game. And when you look at the Yankee lineup tonight, the starting lineup, everybody in the starting lineup has been to at least 1 all-star game. And Matsui's first this year, and everybody else has been there at least 1 or more times.
First time the Yankees this time had 3 starters in the lineup from foreign countries. First time that's ever happened. Posada, Matsui, and Soriano. Here's Posada. I thought one of the great lines came from Roger Clemens' youngest son. Roger was a late addition when Barry Zito couldn't go. So they called Roger, and he called the family meeting. They were home in Texas. Should I go? And the 3 older boys said yes, and Debbie, his wife, said yes. And then the youngest son, who wanted dad home, said, oh, come on, can't they have Andy Pettitte pitch? So Clemens said his littlest one was outvoted, and he went, and he actually braved a hurricane to get there. Got there 4 o'clock the day of the game and came in and pitched very well. And one more time he reiterated, this is it. This is my last All-Star game. I am not playing next year. Whose foot is that? Jeter putting on a new sock.
It looks like Davis is not afraid to throw that fastball. It tails back over the inside corner to the left-handed hitters. And that is a very effective pitch. Now, the problem with it is when you start missing towards the middle,
right,
and the hitters can get extension on it. Like that.
Over the head of a leaping Peralta into left center field. Cutting it off is Chris. Posada rounds first. He'll stay right there. So the Yankees pick up their first base hit against Jason Davis.
Yeah, this one was out. Well, they wanted it away, but he didn't get it quite far enough away from Jorge Posada. Jorge with a good piece of hitting lines it over the shortstop, and in a solid line drive base hit.
And I'll tell you what's influencing some of these pitches from Davis that he's throwing them over there is he's had 2 or 3 very close pitches on the inside corner that have not been called strikes. And then when that happens as a pitcher, you say, well, I'm not getting that pitch, and you come back out over the plate, and that's what happens.
Robin Ventura, who really finished the first half of the season struggling, 3 hits in 31 at bats. And he seemed lost at the plate.
You're looking for anything positive, and I would give Robin this positive note. He's on a 2-game hitting streak.
I think Robin's trying to change his luck because that's about the shiniest I've ever seen his helmet.
And his bat. was using a black bat most of the time. Now it looks like it might be a Hideki Matsui model. Hitters will do that. You know, if a guy's in a hot streak, right, you're scuffling, you say, let me use your bat a couple times.
Sometimes they don't want to give them up.
Well, Ventura's now at 238. A month ago today, he was at 270. So in a month, he has dropped 32 points.
Might be one of those roller coaster seasons where you're hot for a month and you cool off for another month. And then it's up to the manager to know when to put you in the lineup.
You know, Alfonso Soriano, when he went on a hot streak, actually borrowed a bat from Paul O'Neill. You know, there weren't many guys in the Yankees that swing that 35-ounce bat.
And Ventura does have a Matsui bat. See, that's even cooler than having your signature on the back. Matsui actually has like a logo. His name is a logo.
Yeah. You know, it's really cool having your face on the side of an airplane. That's really cool.
Matsui logo name. Or name logo. We'll see if it works for Ventura. And the 3-2. Sierra's on deck. Posada goes, and the pitch is grounded foul. Well, that's a gamble by Joe Torre because Ventura's not been swinging the bat well, and Posada doesn't have speed.
But Kenny, isn't that, if you've been in some slumps, isn't that what really helps a hitter? Is all you have to do is make contact. You like it when the runner goes.
You do, because you know you have to protect them first of all. So it makes you really concentrate on getting a ball within the strike zone. And you know, I think it's a good idea to send him. See if it happens again.
That's why sometimes, you know, when a hitter's in a slump, manager will move him up to the 2-hole because you get a lot of fastballs, and then he'll start the runner because it makes you concentrate on just making contact and not trying to hit it over the fence or any place special.
Yep, but a manager can also move you to the 8th hole to get you ticked off. That happened to me a few times.
Well, Ventura, this is his 9th pitch, he'll see, and the pitch is a strike, and there's the danger. Strike him out, throw him out, double play. Ventura thought it was ball. Dale Scott didn't. So you scored a strikeout and a caught stealing. 2-6. No runs to hit because of the double play. Nobody left on base at the end of 2. 1-0 Indians.
Before the majors, they have to master the minors. This summer, minor league baseball returns to Yes with all the action of your favorite Yankees farm teams. Sunday at 5. Catch exciting International League action as the Columbus Clippers take on the Pawtucket Red Sox here on Yes.
Saturday afternoon at 2 on a Yes Network special. Go back, way back, as the Yankees celebrate their 100th anniversary season at the 57th annual Old Timers Day game. That's live from Yankee Stadium. Scooter, Yogi, Reggie, and Donnie Baseball see the legendary players of the past on the Yes Network's Old Timers Day special Saturday beginning at 2 only on Yes. Now, we've all seen Kitty looking sharp in his Hickey Freeman suit and his ties and everything, but we get to see you in a pinstripe suit on Saturday.
Yeah.
That's your first Yankee Old Timers Day,
I hope they got one a little bigger.
It's a John McDonald's a strike. That must be fun. You're looking forward to that, right?
I am looking forward, you know, with Nettles and some of the guys that I played with, you know, seeing them come back. That's really the highlight of those things. Stanley Bonson. I looked at the list. 52 former Yankees coming back. Jim Abbott will be coming back. You don't think of him as an old timer, nor do you think of Jim Leyritz as an old timer. He'll be here.
You know the King's never going to abdicate his throne.
Oh. Right. So it's always a special day, Old Timers Day at Yankee Stadium. I think it's one of the few that still keep the old timers tradition going.
Bobby Mercer's going to be mic'd for our Yes viewers, so we'll get some insight from the field.
Strike 3, John McDonald down looking. Now, speaking of Bobby Mercer, did you realize that he has hired a hitting coach for Old Timers Day?
He has.
And it's the left fielder of the New York Yankees, Hideki Matsui.
about that?
He's been studying some Japanese, and he's gonna try to get some tips from Hideki.
Speaking of
Pretty good model.
Speaking of Hideki, we were talking about his face on the side of a plane. That was JL.
Yep.
That JL is, you know,
It's a promotional deal?
well, he's kind of the corporate spokesman for that.
Wow.
So his face is on the side of some of their airplanes.
Like Michael on the bus.
Exactly.
Every time I get on a bus in the city, I'm looking at Michael.
Only it's much bigger than my head. It's on the whole side of a plane.
That's cool.
The 1-0.
Kitty on a bus, huh?
Yeah, I can't see you take.
Yeah.
Oh, you
come
kidding
on,
me?
you take buses.
It's the best way to travel around the city.
People don't look at the great Jim Kaat stepping on a bus. Would your limo get lost?
Yeah.
That one's driven to right field. Going back is Mondesi, and that's going to be over his head and off the base of the wall. Peralta will go into second. He's thinking about third, but he'll stop right there with a double. A one-out double for Peralta, the youngest everyday player in the major leagues at 21 years of age.
Got a pitch out away from him, and the Indians quite high on his potential. Omar Vizquel may be back in a few weeks, but in the meantime, they're grooming Peralta. And Kenny mentioned they made a move before the game, sending Brandon Phillips back to the minor leagues, moving McDonald to second, and Peralta gets a chance to play short.
Yeah, we saw Brandon Phillips in Cleveland, but we also saw that his batting average was just north of 200.
And the pitch to Coco Crisp is out. So also we had reported on those games that a lot of scouts had said, you know, Brandon Phillips is okay, pick up a couple more hits if he would actually run hard down to first. So for a young guy, that's not a good thing, and maybe being sent down to the minor leagues will jolt him into reality.
Yeah, his hitting coach told me if he figures out there's hits on the right side of the field, he might stay in the big leagues too.
Cleveland starting lineup, 25.5 years of age average. Yankee starting lineup, 31.6. And the two oldest Indians are right now on the DL, Ellis Burks and Omar Vizquel, the 1-1.
Kenny mentioned that every Yankee in the lineup has been an all-star. Cleveland's only all-star rep, CC Sabathia, the pitcher, who will. There's Ellis Burks.
Elbow surgery has him out for the remainder of the season.
But this Cleveland lineup, all young hopefuls, hoping someday they do make an all-star team.
And a strike. Well, they used to produce all-stars at an alarming rate. These are Indians that are gone and obviously not forgotten. Both Alomars, Albert Bell, Sean Casey, Bartolo Colon, Brian Giles, the manager Mike Hargrove, Kenny Lofton, Manny Ramirez, Richie Sexton, and Jim Thome. That's a lot of talent on that list.
Yeah, they had such a promising team put together. And I think we've talked about it before. It's still kind of disappointing. No disrespect for Jim Leland or the guys that got a ring in '97 from the Marlins, but it was so disappointing not to see Cleveland win that, because John Hart had gone about it the right way. Got some young players, kept them together for a number of years, and for that city and that franchise, it would have been nice to cap it off with a World Series win.
One more pitcher might have done it.
Yep.
The 2-2 is popped up left field. Matsui, 2 down.
Well, that's why the Benitez trade today, that I'm sure we'll talk about as the game goes on, it's really geared toward making the Yankees stronger in postseason. You can get through your division over 162 games. You might be able to outslug a few people and win the division, but when it gets down to postseason, boy, it's a big advantage to have those couple of flamethrowers coming out of the bullpen those last 3 innings.
Yeah, the Yankees do have the best record within their division, 23-15 against the East.
There's Casey Blake against Pettitte. And there's a strike.
And what is it against the West? Because that's where their competition would come from.
Yeah, well, 11-13 against the West. Yeah. Against the Central, they're cruising 10-3.
Yeah. And that West is, you know, you're going to probably have to deal with Seattle and maybe Oakland come postseason.
And they did very well in interleague play, 13-5.
Yeah, the best record.
The 0-1. Always made me laugh about those Indians teams. They put a lot of the onus on Mike Hargrove, the manager, who wasn't a good enough manager to win a World Series. And I laugh because he got his team to the 7th game of the World Series, 9th inning with a lead, turned it over to the closer. That's all a manager could do. Then the closer, Jose Mesa, couldn't hold it. Right. So how was that Mike Hargrove's fault? They've had a couple of managers since, Charlie Manuel, Joel Skinner interim last year, and now Eric Wedge. So they count 1-2. Yankees are trailing 1-0. You see the Indians after 94 games the last 5 years. And they're 1 game worse than last year, but they have a lot lower payroll. And the 1-2. Up and away, 2-2.
Speaking of where the Indians were the last few years, the Yankees at this time last year, coming out of the All-Star break, 2 games ahead of the Boston Red Sox, exactly where they are right now. Of course, the All-Star break's a little further into the season this year.
Peralta leads off second. The 2-2, nice block there by Posada, and the count is full at 3-2.
There's the block Michael's talking about. You shift your weight. Gary Tuck would be proud of that. You don't have to catch the ball. Just shift your weight, keep it in front of you.
Posada telling Pettitte to think. Pointing to the head. And the 3-2. Grounded sharply foul outside third. Missed a double by a couple of inches.
I think the reason for that, catchers will do that a lot. Point to their, in a situation like this, and tell the pitcher, I think it's kind of a reminder that first base is open. You know, and even though Milton Bradley has been having a decent year, but Blake has been really hot. So with first base open, you know, make your perfect pitcher's pitch or go after the next guy.
And the 3-2. All the hot face Milton Bradley. Milton Bradley's having a good year, but strangely, you read some stories, and Mel Stoudemire is going to come out and talk with Andy Pettitte. You read stories that he's not liked within his own clubhouse, where he walks past teammates, doesn't even say hello, and he just doesn't have the type of attitude that people latch on to say, wow, he's a friendly guy. So
sounds
it's
like
odd.
Barry Bonds.
A little bit. Right. Yeah, a loner. If you do your job, I guess you're accepted that way, but you better do your job.
That's Eric Wedge, youngest manager in the major leagues. He was actually a #1 draft pick of the Red Sox.
See Milton Bradley's biography information. Major league debut for the Expos in 2000. They got him in a trade with the Expos in 2001.
Well, his pitcher Zach David went to Montreal. Has turned into a pretty good pitcher.
Grounded foul. In Cleveland, a soft ground ball to first, and Bradley was kind of jogging down to first, and Jason Giambi stepped on the bag. Very routine play, and Milton Bradley ran into him for no reason. And Jason Giambi just stared him down, but nothing came of it. They actually met on first base later in the game, and they talked. The 0-1. Grounded to short. Jeter's right there. He flips to Soriano, and that'll do it. Pettitte works out of a jam. No runs, a hit, no errors, and 2 men left. We go to the bottom of the third. Indians 1, the Yankees nothing.
Hey, Robbie.
Yeah.
Check out how many miles this Continental Airlines OnePass member is bidding on one of your autographed balls.
Oh, yeah.
Must be a big fan of yours.
Right.
OnePass members, now you can log on to Continental.com and use your miles to bid on premium Yankees tickets, merchandise, and events like a private suite or a kids' clinic at Yankee Stadium.
See if we can find out who this big Robin Ventura fan really
that's
is.
okay.
Come on. Yeah, he even has the same name as you.
So make your bid for these unique Yankee experiences today. Continental Airlines, work hard, fly right.
Well, you're not going to want to miss Tuesday at Yankee Stadium, as the first 18,000 fans, 14 and under in attendance, are going to receive a Hideki Matsui bobblehead doll, courtesy of Hormel and Land O'Lakes. Tickets are going fast, so you have to visit the stadium ticket window, Yankees clubhouse shops. Call Ticketmaster at 212-307-1212 or simply log on to Yankees.com. There's Hideki.
Bobby Mercer's hitting coach.
Swinging a hot bat. Here's the land of the setting sun right there.
Those 3 days paid off, huh? Pitch to Sierra is a strike. Indian run on Shane Spencer's home run leading off the second inning. That's the only blemish on the scoreboard right now. It'll be Sierra, Mondesi, and Soriano in the third. 8-9-1 against Jason Davis. Tries to pull an outside pitch and pulls a ground ball of Broussard. He takes it himself, 1 away.
Speaking of getting a resurgence at the All-Star break, I think that's where a lot of players take stock of what their seasons are looking like at this point in the year. Although the All-Star game this year a little further along. Tonight is the Yankees' 94th game, so it's past the halfway point. But the fact is, it usually falls at the midway point in the season. You figure out, well, either I'm really having a good year or I got to go some in the second half.
Well, here's Raul Mondesi. He's probably thinking the latter at this point. He started off very well, but has had a tailspin. 1 for his last 17 and 3 for his last 33. Davis keeps it away, 1-0.
Reminds me a little bit about what, Kenny, you mentioned that Eddie Murray had said to Brandon Phillips, there's hits on the right side of the diamond. That's what Raul was doing so well early in the year.
There's a line drive, base hit to left field. He makes a big turn at first. Throw is cut off by Peralta, so a 1-out single by Mondesi.
Of course, if you get a pitch on the inside part of the plate like that, a little hanger, that's that look like a splitter, a hanging splitter. Very similar to Jeff Weaver, and I would dare say most of the damaging blows against Davis are going to be on the breaking ball. It's so tough to elevate that hard sinker.
Got a good matchup here with Davis's good pickoff move, and Mondesi very aggressive. Hasn't been on base much lately. You know he wants to steal a bag. He hadn't had one in a while.
Here's Soriano. Fouled away.
Yeah, Davis's good move belies the fact that he's kind of slow to the plate. He's about 6'6", 6'7" maybe, and he has a fairly high leg kick before delivering the ball. Now he does have an excellent move to first base, which is kind of the equalizer.
Pitching coach Carl Willis. He's got that timer in his hand, and they were saying before the game they're trying to get their pitchers in the entire organization to be a little more conscious of fielding their position and controlling the running game. That can be so important, especially for relievers coming in late in the game with a lot more speed in the game today.
You know, I think what you're seeing with these stopwatches and all of this, timing pitchers are, when runners get to first base, now the opposition, like Lee Mazzilli, sometimes has a stopwatch, and he'll tell the runner on first, he's too quick. You might as well not even go because you're not going to make it. You know, you won't get a good, you know, the catcher's going to have a better chance to throw you out against certain guys, and that's why, you know, only the really top base stealers, the guys that, you know, like Soriano, have such good break and good speed, they can make it. That time he used the slide step,
which is uncomfortable for a guy 6'6". Yeah, what the watches tell you, movement to mitt. As soon as the pitcher comes set and he makes that first movement, now let's see right here, he's going to come set to the waist right now. His slide step very awkward. As soon as he makes that first movement, you click the stopwatch until it hits the catcher's mitt. And if you can get it there in, you know, 1.2 or better, tough to steal against.
Yeah, you're not going to make it.
Right. Because a good big league catcher will throw it to second base in an average of 2, some a little faster than that. And a base runner can't get down to second base that quick.
That means the throw does not have to be that accurate to get the runner. Doesn't have to be a perfect throw. He's showing a little better moves over the first these last couple.
When you give all these timing devices and then you realize how close people get to getting thrown out at first and double plays, it's amazing when Mr. Doubleday laid this out, that it was 90 feet. I mean, it couldn't be more perfect. 90 feet to each base. and the distance between the catcher and second base and the pitcher and home plate. You know, if you sat there with a computer program, you couldn't come up with a better program than that, and they did it.
He must have had a stopwatch.
Had to. Could be two. Let's see if it works out here. There's one. And there's two. A nice backhand scoop by Broussard around the horn. 5-4-3 double play by the Indians. A hot shot by Soriano, but the Indians turned it nicely. No runs a hit, no errors, and nobody left on base. We played 3, 1-0 Indians.
Special event. Take a journey with Bernie from the house that Ruth built to the House of Blues. Rudy Giuliani hosts Bernie Williams and guests playing songs from his debut album. Bernie Williams, The Journey Within, premieres Saturday at 7:30, only on Yes.
Top of the 4th inning means it's time for the Aflac trivia question. On July 17th, that was today, 1941, Joe DiMaggio's hit streak ended at 56 straight games in Cleveland's Municipal Stadium. Who were the 2 pitchers for the Indians that night? Good question. We'll find out in the bottom of the 4th. Now, a good part of that question is always who made the great plays at third base to rob him of a couple of hits. And that was Kenny Keltner.
Right. One of the first gloves I had was a Kenny Keltner model, even though I was a left-hander. I think Jim Bagby was one of the pitchers. I'm not sure.
2 backhand plays on the third baseline by Ken Keltner kept DiMaggio from picking up some extra base hits.
And then if I'm not mistaken, after that game, DiMaggio hit 17 straight more.
Yes.
And the count 2-1. DiMaggio's night that night, he grounded out to Keltner in the 1st. He walked in the 4th, another to grounder to Keltner in the 7th, and a ground ball double play in the 8th. Well, you got Bagby right. I have the other answer right here. So there's one more guy.
Okay.
Jolton Joe. The 2-2. Way outside.
Saw that quick shot of Robin Ventura at Oklahoma State. He went on a 58-game hitting streak. 70-game season, I think.
Three-2, grounded back to Pettitte. One away. Now I have a little bit of a trivia question. It's not the Aflac trivia question.
Okay.
And this is for you, Kenny.
Okay.
Do you know what happened on this date in 1969? I mean, the planets must have been aligned in some very odd fashion for this to happen, but something very odd happened in 1969 on July 17th.
You know what? I happen to know this one because I was reading the paper today and I saw it, and it kind of amazed me too.
I didn't even know this guy had 3 errors in his career, let alone in 1 game.
Little did you know.
Well, on this date in 1969, really arguably the greatest fielding pitcher in baseball history, Jim Kaat, made 3 errors against the White Sox. What up with that?
I think I made 7 errors that year.
Wow.
Did you still get the Gold Glove?
I did. Yeah, it's not right.
You know
it doesn't
what?
count.
It's not right.
You know what it was? They were so used to just mailing it to your address.
Exactly. Short name, rubber stamp. Easy.
Yeah.
I had a bit of a leg problem that year.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, I got to have some excuses, right? And I was hoping that nobody would bunt on me. I didn't have much leverage with my left. I think I got 3. They weren't all bunts, but they were little rollers out in front of the mound. And I mean, those fans behind first base were ducking. I was firing them into the stands left and right.
Remember who you were playing that night?
I want to say it was the White Sox, but I'm not sure.
It was the White Sox, and despite the 3 errors, you got the win.
I did.
An 8-5 victory. You went 5 2/3, so it wasn't a lengthy outing
that's a
for you.
5 and fly. Those shouldn't even count.
All right, you have 282. There's a ground ball by Garrett to Giambi.
5 2/3 and 5 runs, and I got a win.
So despite your worst efforts, you won the game.
What a country.
3 errors and 5 2/3.
Oh, man. I know I took some heat in the clubhouse that night.
But you know what? Well, I was going to say your defense didn't play well behind you. You're part of the plan. 5 runs, only 2 were earned.
Oh, okay. Yeah, those were my errors.
And the punchline on this whole story, which is a true story, and Jim told us during dinner today, is that before the game they presented you with the Gold Glove.
Yes. Yeah.
Probably spooked you.
Oh.
Did you use that one?
That was always when they say what's one of your most embarrassing moments. That's it.
Really?
When you get the Gold Glove before the game and then you make 3 errors, especially for a pitcher. You can go weeks without getting 3 chances.
Or at least 3 you can flag down.
I remember when Tommy John was in his last tour of duty with the Yankees, I think the last game he ever started, he made 3 errors on 1 play.
Oh, yes.
I think it was against the Twins.
Bobbled it and then threw it away.
And then another throw was to the outfield. He had to cut it off and threw it away again. So 3 errors on 1 play. At that time, Dallas Green was the manager, and he said, you know, Tommy's got the stuff. He could pitch for another 5 years. He said, but he'll get killed on the mound. He just doesn't have the reflexes. Count 2-1 on Victor Martinez. Swing and miss, and the count 2-2.
Well, ever since that Boston start where Andy Pettitte came up big in that series, you know, your motion, your body language, your eyes, everything tell a lot about an athlete. He's just pitching with so much confidence right now.
Last 6 starts, 6-0 with a 3.46 ERA. The 2-2 fouled away, and before those 6 starts, in his previous 6, he was 1-5 with a 6.63. So the 1-5 was in 7 starts. And it's been a peaks and valleys sort of season for Andy Pettitte, who's 11-6 overall.
You can see why Joe Torre wanted to get him back on the mound as quickly as possible following the All-Star break. Plus the remainder of the schedule, maybe teams that Andy matches up well with.
He struck him out with a high fastball, 91 miles an hour. That is the 4th strikeout for Andy Pettitte. He is retired 4 in a row against the Indians. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Indians lead the Yankees 1-0. You're watching Yankees baseball on the Yes Network.
Tomorrow.
Ready or not, here we come.
From producer Jerry Bruckheimer and director Michael Bay.
What are you, a cop or a model? Hey, don't hate the player, hate the game. Hate to tell him.
Martin Lawrence and Will Smith are explosively funny.
Shoot somebody! Oh, what are you doing, man?
That's my bad.
Oh, that was reckless, it was stupid, and it was dangerous. I'm telling mommy.
Rated R. Opens everywhere tomorrow.
Bottom of the 4th inning means it's time for the Aflac Trivia Questions Answer. The question was, on July 17th of 1941, Joe DiMaggio had his hit streak ended at 56 games in Cleveland. Who were the 2 pitchers for the Indians that night? Now, Jim came up with Bagby. The other one is Al Smith.
Al Smith.
Al Smith and Jim Bagby. Here's Derek Jeter. And pitches outside. I wonder how many times Joe DiMaggio did this. Did he like go through a 55 sign? Did he go through a 54 sign? That's one of the more famous signs. And what you know about Joe DiMaggio now, I'm surprised he did something like that.
Yeah.
Kind of like showy.
Right.
Not him. 1-1. Well, so far the Yankees have not gone to school on anything Jason Davis did against them last time, or he's doing it so well that they really can't do anything with him. They've gotten 2 hits, and they have not pushed across a run. They trail 1-0. Second time through the order, though.
Well, he's got good movement on a live fastball. He's got a decent splitter. He's only had 1 walk in the game. So his control's been pretty good. He's been able to put the ball just about where he wants to. There's a, what, 23-year-old pitcher?
Yeah.
A catcher about the same age.
Well, that's why Carl Willis and Eric Wedge were telling Victor Martinez, your first responsibility, you get everything you can out of that pitcher, and then hitting comes second. That's how you stay in the big leagues.
3-1. Foul back.
Jeter had a pretty good cut. You figure he would get one. 3 balls and a strike leading off an inning. That's the same count in which Shane Spencer hit a home run in the second inning. He gave us the only run of the game for Cleveland.
3-2. Grounded slowly to second. Going to be a tough play. McDonald's there. Fires to first. They get him. One down here in the fourth.
John McDonald, we know that Brandon Phillips was an excellent fielder. His offense left something to be desired. But Cleveland does not lose anything with John McDonald playing second, but he is an excellent glove man. Derek Jeter laying out the ground to the right side, but McDonald has quick hands and excellent range on the left side of the infield.
Local product, East Lyme, Connecticut.
I should say right side of the infield.
Well, and the thing he did so well there, you got to know your base runners. And Jeter, with the slow hit ball, he knew Jeter had speed. He really unloaded that thing in a hurry.
Vincent Giambi is inside 2-0. Giambi had an epic battle with Albert Pujols in the penultimate round of the home run hitting contest. It was one of the best parts of that evening. But he fell short, and then Pujols ended up losing to Garrett Anderson, who had himself quite an all-star break with the home run hitting contest, then hitting a big home run in the all-star game.
You know, home run hitting contest is very, very entertaining. I'm very happy that the game itself was quite entertaining as well, with the American League with a comeback victory on the home run by Hank Blaylock. But, you know, I think that what we have done, we're getting to be, we want to see the instant payoff. And that's why the home run contest is so big. That's what I believe in. And you might not get that from a ball game. You might not get that instant payoff. You might get one of these games where it's 11-3 and the payoff was early in the game.
Yeah, that was a good night for baseball, the way that all turned out. I was particularly happy for Garrett Anderson and Hank Blaylock. Anderson, because he's such a terrific player, but nationally there's a lot of people who don't know how good he is. My selfish reason for liking Hank Blaylock is because when they approach, you know how hitters have music played for them when they get into the batter's box? And when they came up to Hank and said, "What would you like played when you go up to hit?" He said, he looked, he said, "I'm not a disc jockey, I'm a hitter. I don't care what you play."
And the 3-2. Strike three right down the middle. Giambi knew it. Obviously looking for something else. He goes down on strikes 2 away.
And you wonder how a hitter can take pitches like that look like they're right down the middle. You see that moving across the middle. I think oftentimes you get caught up in the radar gun, but you got a guy like Davis at 6'6" with that motor. I'm not sure the hitters are picking up that ball too easily. You know, sometimes you'll go back to the bench and you'll say, the guy's throwing right out of his shirt. I'm not seeing it well.
Bernie pops one up, third base side. Giving it a look is Blake. A couple of rows back.
To me, that's why it was always an advantage before the designated hitter, because as a pitcher you got to hit and you experienced what it was like to hit, and you knew it wasn't that easy. and oftentimes today in the DH you have respect for hitters, but sometimes you give them so much credit you think they're going to hit every pitch.
Count 1-1 on Bernie Williams. Bernie grounded to short. That was in the first inning. 5 for 21 since coming back from knee surgery. Still trying to find a stroke. Playing him very shallow in the outfield, though. All 3 outfield positions shallow for Bernie. There's a strike.
Dale Scott with that dance step strike call that he has. Kind of steps away from the plate. Every umpire has their own way of making strike calls.
Their own signature move.
Yeah.
Swing and a miss. Splitter. Bernie swings over the top. And Jason Davis doing a nice job. A 1-2-3 inning here in the fourth. We've played 4 at Yankee Stadium, and Shane Spencer's solo home run. 1-0. A nice little quick call by Dale Scott. We go to the 5th. The New York Yankees, the world's most successful sports franchise, are celebrating their historic 100th anniversary in 2003. On Sunday, July 20th, all fans in attendance will receive a 1947 World Series pin from Chase. This is one of the final 2 pins in this memorable 26-piece collection. Come out to Yankee Stadium and join in the celebration of 100 years of greatness.
Interesting guests, lots of good calls, and some dynamics, Mike, between you and me.
I'm
right?
still trying to figure out what makes the show work after 14 years.
Mike and the Mad Dog, tomorrow at 1, right here on Yes.
If we haven't figured out what makes it work by now, you know what? We're doing a pretty good imitation.
I'm Fred Hickman, the studio update brought to you by Nissan and your Nissan dealer. Well, the Boston Red Sox being jumped on by the Blue Jays. Top of the 4th moments ago, bases loaded. Reed Johnson clears them off with a double off low. 4-0, top of the 4th. Doc Halladay so far very quick on the draw for Toronto. Now back to the Bronx.
Thank you, Fred. Blue Jays did not play well at the end of the first half, so trying to jack things up here in the beginning of the second half. We go to the top of the 5th. Indians 1 and the Yankees nothing as Ben Broussard leads off.
Yeah, Reed Johnson, just saw him get that hit against the Red Sox. He might be the beneficiary of Shannon Stewart being traded to Minnesota. Be their leadoff man for the Blue Jays.
Who knew, Kenny, that Shannon Stewart striking out against Jeff Weaver to end the 8th inning on Sunday was the last time he would bat as a Blue Jay. So J.P. Ricciardi gets rid of salary, gets rid of a player he's not going to re-sign. Ground ball to second. 1 away and gets himself a pretty good outfielder from the Twins and Bobby Kielty.
Switch hitter.
One down, and that'll bring up John McDonald.
Andy Pettitte, that's quite a feat getting him out the last time, because John McDonald in his career in Yankee Stadium was 6 for 7 coming into this game. I think it was last year, year before, he had that big 5-hit game.
He also took Derek Jeter out on a slide, and if I remember correctly, that there was a big crowd on hand here at the stadium, and it couldn't have been more quiet.
Yep, that's right.
As Derek was laying down on the ground near second base.
4th of July game.
And the 0-1. Grounded foul. Joel Skinner with a nice play, third base coaching box. Skinner, the interim manager last year, and if you had placed bets all over Cleveland and around Major League Baseball, they were sure that Joel Skinner was going to be the manager. He was going to get the long-term job. He had managed in the Indians minor league system, but they interviewed people, and they interviewed Eric Wedge, who completely blew them away with his enthusiasm. Fisted out toward the right side, a base hit for John McDonald past the diving Giambi. So 1 out single.
Jason just lost his traction a little bit with those spikes. It's a ball that he probably would have got. Wasn't hit particularly hard. Got it in on the hands, and then you'll see right there when he goes to dive, that right foot gives way. Isn't able to quite reach out quite as far. McDonald gets a hit.
Yeah, a lot of people this winter had that same feeling with their vehicles in the snow. Right?
Right.
A little spin out.
Andy keeping McDonald close. You know what's interesting about Eric Wedge getting the job because of his interviewing? Okay, he interviewed well. He was rah-rah. He was up. He was pumped. He said all these things, how he's going to motivate the team. And that's fine. I guess that's what the Indians were looking for. But I guess if Joe Torre and Bobby Cox had come in for an interview, they wouldn't have gotten the job. So, I mean, why would you eliminate somebody because they're a quiet leader rather than, and I'm not saying that picking Eric Wedge was the wrong choice, but picking him just on that, well, I'm not quite sure.
I think it's because of the success he had in the minor leagues with a lot of these same players. Manager of the year at 2 different levels.
That one is lined into left center field, giving chase Bernie Williams. He cannot get there. It's past him, and it rolls to the wall. John McDonald will round third. They're going to send him home. The throw is not made by Jeter. It will be into the cutoff man. That is an RBI triple for Jhonny Peralta, and the Indian lead is now 2-0.
That ball had some unusual spin on it, and Bernie sort of misjudged it right there. It looked like he was in position to break in and catch it, and I don't think he caught the flight of that ball. I mean, Kenny, you'd know from playing the outfield, those sinking liners that don't get too far up in the air. It looked right there that he didn't see it until the last moment.
Yeah, that ball was hit pretty hard by Peralta, who now has a double and a triple in his game. That was his first major league triple. But you're right, Bernie kind of hesitated at the start and then tried to catch up to it, but the ball was hit much too hard. First major league triple for Jhonny Peralta. We'll look at his running style. Hit second, yeah, to make it to third. He's kind of been like a rock at the bottom of the lineup tonight.
Well, the Yankees bring the infield in for Coco Crisp. Runner on third base with 1 out. And that one's fouled back.
Cool name. Remember Coco LeBoy? I think Kenny played with him in Montreal.
Jose Coco LeBoy. Third baseman. I think he was Rookie of the Year. In the early 70s with the Expos.
And the 0-1. Grounded to third. Oh, what a play by Ventura. Throws to first. Double play. He made the tag on Peralta for out 1 and then threw across the diamond for out number 2. Put a huge star in the scoreboard next to Robin Ventura's name. An outstanding play. He makes the reach. He gets Peralta on the heel. Fires across the diamond. That's a 5-5-3. The end of 4½. 2-0 Indians.
Go back, way back, as the Yankees celebrate their 100th anniversary season at the 57th Annual Old Timers Day. See the legendary players of the past on the Yes Network's Old Timers Day special. Saturday beginning at 2, only on Yes.
Robin Ventura might be struggling at the plate, but he made a defensive gem to end the top of the 5th. Hideki Matsui leads off. And there's a strike.
By the way, Coco LeBoy was second to Ted Sizemore in 1969 for Rookie of the Year, but I think he was Sporting News Rookie of the Year.
And Coco Crisp is Covelli Coco Crisp.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of Choo Choo Coleman for the Mets. His first name.
Clarence.
Clarence. Choo Choo Coleman.
Yeah.
Cool nicknames.
Right back up the middle, slowed down with his bare hand. And the out is made by Peralta. So that'll be scored 1-6-3.
Well, look at that brilliant inning-ending double play. And baseball is such a leisurely paced game, and you see the players out there, you think, well, what are they thinking about? Well, the good ones are thinking about, what'll I do if the ball's hit to me? You have to have great anticipation to make a play like that. There is no hesitation possible and still make the play. As soon as Ventura gets the ball, you see him dive for Peralta, and then immediately he just knows if he gets it somewhere in Giambi's vicinity, he's going to have plenty of time to complete the double play. What a brilliant play.
Hits Posada's low, and he will follow Posada. I mean, how many times does this guy make a play like that and end up being third up in the inning?
It's third. Yeah. One of those old baseball traditions.
Oh, as they use one of those phenomenals of baseball.
Phenomenal.
2-0 Indians. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning here at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. Given out to left field. Crisp is there. 2 away.
Yeah, we were talking about Covelli Crisp or Coco Crisp in Cleveland. Nicknamed Coco by his grandmother.
She called him Co, and then people just started calling him Coco.
Yeah. Coco's a lot cooler than just Coke Crisp.
It is cooler.
Yeah.
Here's Ventura. Struck out. That was in the second inning. Swings and misses.
This guy's impressive, and we pointed out earlier that the Indians play their outfield rather shallow, and I think there's a reason. It's tough to get the ball airborne unless he happens to hang a breaking ball. And I think the more he's in the big leagues now, and his pitching coach Carl Willis is convincing him that if you use that breaking ball sparingly and just go with a heavy sinker and an occasional splitter, you can be effective.
Plus the 3 outfielders they have, I think all of them are capable of playing center field. You know, Coco Crisp was an all-star center fielder in the minor leagues, and Milton Bradley's a good center fielder. We haven't seen that much of Jody Garrett in right, but he made some nice plays in Cleveland. All 3 of them can throw well. Is awesome.
And pitchers love that. They love outfielders that'll play shallow because it's those little bloopers that fall in that frustrate you. If they hit it over the outfielder's head, the pitcher can justify that and say that was my fault. That was a bad pitch. But you like to have outfielders that can protect against those, and then if you're fortunate enough to have the real speedy ones, they can still go back and get the fly balls.
Well, the newest Yankee, Armando Benitez, puts on pinstripes for the first time. So he is ready. We might see him tonight in his new role as the setup man for Mariano Rivera. The 2-2. Foul back. Now Ventura's had long at bats against Jason Davis. First one was a 9-pitch at bat. This one's getting up there. This will be his 7th. Along with Jim Kaat and Ken Singleton, I'm Michael Kay. You're watching Yankees baseball on this Thursday night on the Yes Network, and we certainly thank you for that. Pitch is a little bit low and inside, 3-2. The Indians runs in the 2nd inning. A home run by Shane Spencer. And in the 5th inning, a triple by Jhonny Peralta. It's been a pitcher's duel. Jason Davis for the Indians and Andy Pettitte for the Yankees. First game of the 2nd half of the season. And the 3-2. Broken bat, fisted into center field, a base hit. That's the way you break slumps. So Robin Ventura with a 2-out single here in the 5th.
Boy, bats just don't chip anymore, do they? Yeah, Hideki Matsui gave up one of his bats. He's probably got a pretty good supply.
Yeah, he certainly does, and also there's more where that came from. You know, you give up a bat for a hit every time. Particularly those ones that drive in runs. You know, you're left with that handle of the bat in your hand and see that base runner cross home plate. Of course, that didn't happen this time, but yeah, you'll give up a bat for a base hit.
Sierra grounds one to second. Nice stop by McDonald. Hops up, fires, got him on the backhand. A nice scoop by Ben Broussard. That's an outstanding play by John McDonald. For the Yankees in the 5th, no runs a hit and 1 man left. We've played 5 at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. Indians 2 and the Yankees nothing on Yes.
News anchor and author Tom Brokaw discusses the national pastime.
When all else seems to be going wrong in the world, I can tune into a baseball game and it restores my faith.
Center Stage, Tom Brokaw premieres tonight after the postgame.
Only on Yes.
This Saturday on Yes, tune in for a special concert event when the Yes Network presents Bernie Williams, The Journey Within. Yankee fans won't want to miss Bernie and special guests performing songs from his new album in this special appearance at the House of Blues in Chicago, hosted by Mayor Rudy Giuliani. See the musical side of the Yankees outfielder in the Yes Network concert event, Bernie Williams, The Journey Within, premiering Saturday at 7:30, and that is only right here on the Yes Network. The 1-0 to Blake is fouled away. Casey Blake is one of only 6 major league players from Wichita State. The other 5, Darren Dreifert, Braden Looper, Pat Mears, Doug Mirabelli, and Zach Sorensen.
His teammate, Zach Sorensen.
So they recruit Wichita State very well in the Indians. Fouled away in the count 2-2.
Nicknamed the Shockers.
Well, the big shock is what's happening in the Central. It doesn't involve the Indians. The big shock is Kansas City 7 games ahead of Chicago, 7.5 ahead of Minnesota. Cleveland's 11 back, so certainly not mathematically out of it. There's a strike, and Blake down looking. But that shapes up as a shock. If Kansas City can hold on, the job that Tony Pena has done has certainly been an amazing one at that. And imagine how good they would be if they actually spent some of their revenue sharing money.
Well, you know, I think Kitty and I were talking about this. We alluded to this earlier, the fact that you can turn it around quickly in the Central Division. And Kansas City's done it with some decent pitching and some ability to score some runs.
Milton Bradley, pop-up to Jeter, 2 away.
Remember, the Indians started out the year 7-20. And they were a little unsure about their bullpen. No Bob Wickman, no Mark Wohlers, and now Danny Baez, who's out there, 21 saves. They've got a young, inexperienced team, but they've got some talent in that Central Division. You're right; they're not mathematically out yet this year. Who knows? Kansas City. All of a sudden, you get to that end of August, and they all look at each other in the clubhouse and say, "Man, we've never been here before." I mean, you know that feeling. I saw it with the Oakland A's. It took them a while to reach that level. Remember the great Oakland A's team, which too often gets overlooked, that 72-3-4 World Championship team. I saw them in 69 and 70 when the Twins won the division. There's the Central standings, and you could just see Reggie and Bando and Rudy and all those guys kind of growing together, and then here they came.
What's funny, though, is the greatest baseball experts who put that in quote. I don't think anybody in this country picked Kansas City to finish first.
Oh, no.
I don't think Tony Pena in his fondest dreams thought first. I think he would have been thrilled with a 500 record. So that's why the Indians can't get too down about things. They could turn it around next year.
Joe Torre made a good point about the Kansas City Royals. Sometimes it's important to win in spring training, and they had a very good record in spring training, and they just carried it on into the regular season.
A lot of managers say it's important for those young teams to win so they know what winning's about, but a veteran team really doesn't need to. A veteran team, you look at their spring training record, it doesn't mean anything. You just throw it out the window. They know what it's like to win. The 1-2. Foul back.
They're just getting ready for the regular season. You're getting, you might play a lot of rookies. Well, on Kansas City, those rookies are going to play for you in the regular season.
And the 1-2. Strike 3 inside corner. Shane Spencer down looking. A 1-2-3 inning for Andy Pettitte here in the top of the 6th. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. Cleveland Indians 2 and the New York Yankees nothing. You're watching the Yes Network. Why don't you come out to Yankee Stadium on Monday as the first 18,000 fans 14 and under in attendance are going to receive a Charlie Brown Yankees Pez dispenser courtesy of Verizon Wireless. For tickets, visit the stadium ticket window, Yankees clubhouse shops. You can call Ticketmaster at 212-307-1212 or log on to Yankees.com. Cute little guy. You'll get him right here at the stadium. Also at the stadium, you're getting a pretty good pitching duel. And Raul Mondesi fouls the first pitch from Jason Davis back. He leads off the 6th. It'll be Mondesi, Soriano, and Jeter, 9-1 and 2.
Yankees have yet to put a leadoff man on in any inning against Jason Davis.
And the 0-1.
It's usually a key into starting a decent rally, getting that leadoff man on.
Breaking ball, strike.
Be interesting to see his percentage breakdown of pitches. I mean, he and Martinez have done a good job, and obviously the Indians in preparing him for this start. He has used mostly that good sinking fastball. Except that when you see Martinez target, just to change the eye level, he had his glove way up in the air. He wanted to show Mondesi that high pitch, see if he'd go for it. Start getting those hitters looking up and down.
There you go, up and then down. Well, the previous one was up out here, and this one's over here. That's it's Kitty saying changing the levels.
Mondesi works a walk. So the Yankees do have a leadoff runner on here in the game. First time all night. Now here's Soriano.
We're talking about the difference in the hitting styles of the two leadoff hitters, Kenny, and here's a look at the way. Look how crisp holds his bat right out in front there. About all you can do is just, you know, slap at it. And then you look at Alfonso Soriano with the bat cocked back there. He can generate a lot more bat speed. And there are walks and there are walks, but that's a bad one when you walk the number 9 hitter after being ahead to get to Soriano.
Crowd of 46,401 making some noise, with Soriano stepping to the plate as the tying run here in the bottom of the 6th. And the pitch is low. Davis has thrown 79 pitches, 46 strikes, 33 out of the zone. Runner goes, and the pitch is inside. The throw to second is not nearly in time. And Mondesi really had that move read because he had a great jump.
I think that's only the second stolen base he's given up. And Mondesi and the Yankees, knowing he's got his mind on throwing strikes to Soriano after the leadoff walk, so he got a tremendous jump. Martinez had very little chance to throw him out.
Mondesi's first steal.
That one's hit deep to left field. Going back is Chris on the track at the wall. Leap, see ya! A game-tying 2-run home run for Alfonso Soriano. And the Yankees and the Indians are knotted at 2.
Looked like a splitter, then another one, and one in the middle of the plate. Looked like 3 in a row, and Soriano is right on the 3rd one. So the leadoff walk does lead to some decent pitches for Soriano to hit, at least a hanging splitter, as Coco Crisp ran out of room in left field.
Yeah, again, the 2 balls that were hit the best off Davis, hanging breaking balls.
Into the night.
You know, Soriano is so like a young colt, and you don't want to ruin his spirit. But again, you see him standing there at home plate watching that ball go and admiring it, and it didn't clear the wall by that much. And the Yankees have been telling this guy, run hard out of the box. If Chris knocks that back out on the field, he should be standing on second base. He might have to hustle in there. Squibbed the other way, fielded there by Broussard. 1 away.
Yeah, that's the modern, we call it the Sports Center mentality. You see it so often. Hitters hit a ball and they look at the ball.
And they don't want to run out of frame too quickly. They want the camera, you know, nice pose. It does look nice. And I'm thinking back in the day, you know, was it Reggie who started all that? I mean, when Reggie hit him, they were gone.
Yeah. Well, you know, Harmon Killebrew that I played with, 573 lifetime home runs.
Yeah.
When he hit one and he knew it.
Hit sharply to first by Giambi. Broussard with the play, 2 away.
You know, he would hit his bat, put his bat down and kind of look at it momentarily. That was his trademark. And then Reggie did the same thing. And as a pitcher, you know, you understand that, the guy who's used to hitting home runs. But that is dangerous right there when you haven't hit when the ball just goes over the wall. And I like when Willie McGee, when I played with him in the Cardinals, he sprinted around the bases. I said, Willie, you know, slow down, enjoy it. He said, man, that pitcher feels bad enough. I just want to get out of there as quickly as I can. I don't want him to even know who hit it.
Oh, they know.
Here's Bernie Williams. 2-2 game. Outside. There should be a rule of thumb. If an outfielder leaps for the ball, that should be a ball that you're running out of the box on.
Well, you should run out on all of them.
Well, we're trying to take baby steps here.
I mean, if you hit it and you know it, the real home run hitters, they hit it and they know it. And you see Bonds do it. I don't remember seeing the Hammer do it very much, or Mickey.
2-0. Lofted into left center field, giving chases Bradley on the run. He's there, and he puts it away for the final out of the inning. But the Yankees get on the board. Alfonso Soriano's 23rd home run of the year now has 54 runs batted in. We played 6 here at Yankee Stadium. It's a good game to watch. 2-2.
Yankees action is so hot, it's worth watching twice. And you'll see it all on Yankees Encore. When the game is over, relive the great plays of 2003 Yankees baseball. Yankees Encore. Tonight at 11:30, only on Yes.
Well, Andy Pettitte gets a reprieve here at Yankee Stadium. The 2-run home run by Soriano gets him back into this game. It's 2-2 now as we head to the 7th. And Jody Garrett will lead off against Andy Pettitte. The line score identical, 2-4-0 for both teams. Drag bunt by Garrett's going to be a tough play, and it's going to be a base hit. Once it got past Pettitte, once Giambi fielded the ball, you knew that Garrett had a base hit. Let's take a look at the in-game box score of the Indians. It's sponsored by Visa. It's everywhere you want to be. Coco Crisp, 0 for 3. In fact, the first 3 batters in the Indian lineup have not reached against Pettitte. 1 for 3, Spencer, a home run, leading off the second. Jody Garrett now with a base hit on that drag bunt. Victor Martinez and Ben Broussard both 0 for 2. John McDonald 1 for 2, a run scored. Jhonny Peralta with a double and an RBI triple is 2 for 2 in the bottom of the lineup. That's the Indians Visa in-game box score. Here's Victor Martinez.
Yankees want to see if he shows bunt. Doesn't look like he is. Going toward the bottom of the order, and then Broussard, a left-hand hitter, up next. I don't know that Eric Wedge would use the bunt right here as much as with, you know, Martinez's track record in the minors is a pretty good hitter. Might give him a chance to hit it the other way.
Well, the bottom of the order actually has 3 of the 5 Cleveland hits. And who says players can't bunt anymore? That was an excellent bunt by Jody Garrett.
Yeah, that was perfect.
Yeah.
As Michael said, once you get that ball past the pitcher, 2 of the best bunters I've ever seen. One was right here in Yankee Stadium. You don't think of him as a bunter, Mickey Mantle. And the other's Rod Carew.
Boy, if you're a really good bunter, it's hard to get into big slumps.
Yeah.
Always lay one down. Pettitte, 91 pitches, 58 strikes. The 0-1. A little bit low.
You can see the pitching pattern here when they see you're not showing bunt and they think you might be trying to take it the other way, then all the pitchers are going to be inside. Though there are some hitters. I remember Dick Grote, MVP with the Pirates back in 1960. He actually could hit that inside pitch to right field better than the outside pitch. There are hitters like that.
Jeter might be like that, right?
Yep. Inside outs the ball.
Keeping Garrett close.
Garrett, along with first base coach Jeff Datz, looking across the diamond at Joel Skinner for the signs.
Last time Jason Davis pitched against the Yankees, 2-2 game went to the 10th inning where the Indians finally won 3-2. So he pitched well the last time out against them, and you got to be honest, he's pitched very well against them this time. That one mistake to Soriano. Now Martinez steps out and wants Skinner to go through the signs again. Game of chess right now. Runner goes. Line drive to center field, and that's going to fall in for a base hit. It was not read well by Garrett, so he has to stop at second. He thought Bernie Williams had a shot, so he held up. And now runners on first and second, nobody out for the Indians.
Well, that's a pretty good little piece of hitting right there. There is an inside pitch, and Victor Martinez knew the runner was on the go. Garrett could not tell. Whether Bernie had a shot at, that's why he had to hold up.
There's Ben Broussard. Do they bunt again? Do they think about bunting? Broussard probably not a good bunter. He's going to try. And a beautiful bunt. Fielded by Ventura, fires to first, and the sacrifice is successful, 5-3. Usually big first basemen are not great bunters, but he laid down a beauty right then.
In the minor leagues, you're supposed to learn how to bunt, whether you play first base, right field, center field, second, or wherever. And the pitch was kind of up, but he still had the barrel of the bat above the ball, so he could just drop it down.
Well, that's great technique. You're right. You don't see a lot of young hitters, particularly guys who are productive hitters in the minor leagues, don't get called on to bunt that often. That's excellent technique for Broussard and good results.
Now that forces the Yankees to bring the infield in and really increases the chances for John McDonald at the plate. So Broussard with the sacrifice. The Indians have runners on second and third and one out. Top of the 7th inning. Grounded through the left side for a base hit. Scoring as Garrett Martinez holds up as Matsui fields quickly and fires into Ventura. So an RBI single for McDonald, and it got through because the infield was in, and the Indians lead the Yankees 3-2.
Well placed. Nothing Derek Jeter could do about it from that position. Yankees having to pull the infield late in the game. You have to pull the infield in.
This ball is almost going to be directly between Ventura and Jeter on the left side. There it is. McDonald has his second hit of the night.
He likes hitting in Yankee Stadium. That's now 8 for 10 career-wise in Yankee Stadium. Mel come to the mound, talk a little strategy, but also give the bullpen tandem, Hammond and Osuna, a little more time to get ready.
This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the aforementioned New York Yankees. Joe Torre was asked before the game, how will you use Armando Benitez? Will you use him exclusively in the 8th inning? Will you match him up against certain right-handers? And Joe was really honest. He said, I have no idea at this point. He said, I want to see what he has. I want to see how he pitches for us, and then I will devise a plan. As of this point, I'm going in. I'm just going to play it by ear. So he doesn't know how he's going to use Armando Benitez at this point. Here's Jhonny Peralta, runners on first and third. Yankees go halfway, double play depth. And the pitch is outside. Peralta halfway to a cycle with a double and a triple. And the 1-0. Hit sharply. Oh, a diving play by Ventura. From his knees, he got him. Beautiful play by Robin Ventura. A run scores. The Indians lead 4-2. But if not for the play by Ventura, it could have been a lot worse. He's having some night with the glove.
Wow. You know, Old Timers Day this Saturday, we're going to see Greg Nettles, the all-time Yankee third baseman. That's the kind of plays we used to see Puff make. Yeah, he has taken a hit, an extra run maybe away from the Indians right there. That ball would have rattled around down in the corner. Peralta would have had his third hit.
That's all arm, throwing from the knees. And the pitch to Crisp is a strike. Never shows too much emotion. And the 0-1. There's a strike.
He's very similar to Greg Nettles in that regard. They both have that dry sense of humor. Every play they make, they act like, hey, I've done this 100 times before. This isn't anything special.
Well, sometimes when you're not hitting, you take your thoughts out to the field, but that doesn't affect Robin Ventura at third base.
So the Indians answer the Yankees 2 runs with 2 runs of their own. And that's the best way to answer runs like that, because now you take the momentum away from the Yankees. So it's 4-2 Indians. We're in the top of the 7th. Runner on second base and 2 outs. And the 0-2. Hit sharply at Ventura. Fields cleanly. Fires across the diamond, and that will do it. But for the Indians, 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors, and 1 man left. At the end of 6.5, get up and stretch. It's the Indians 4 and the Yankees 2. But while you're standing, remain standing to honor America. And listen to the voice of Yankee Stadium, Bob Shepard.
Now please offer a moment of silent prayer as we remember the service men and women who are stationed around the globe. And also remember those who have lost their lives to defending our freedom and our way of life. Now, please join Kate Smith as she sings God Bless America.
The New York Yankees, the world's most successful sports franchise, are celebrating their historic 100th anniversary in 2003. On Monday, July 21st, the first 18,000 fans, 14 and under, will receive a Charlie Brown Yankees Pez dispenser courtesy of Verizon Wireless. Come out to Yankee Stadium and join in the celebration of 100 years of greatness.
On the Emmy Award-winning Yankeeography, the story of big game pitcher Catfish Hunter.
The good old boy who happened to be the standard for greatness in the game at the time.
Yankeeography Catfish Hunter, tomorrow at 9, only on Yes.
I'm Fred Hickman, the studio update brought to you by your Tri-State Quality Ford store. Toronto and Boston, and you know, the Blue Jays acquired this man, Bobby Kelty, for Shannon Stewart. Even took his number 24 and pays off a dividend right here with a big drive. The solo homer off Casey Fossum, his 10th of the year. Kelty 3 for 3 in his first game as a Blue Jay, so I guess Boston is Kelty as charged. Doc Halladay still working the shutout. It's in the top of the 7th. Back to you in the Bronx.
You know, guys, it's no secret. You give a guy 3 days rest, they come back recharged. I mean, Fred obviously thrived with the 3 days off. Guilty as charged. Hey, there's a little controversy in Boston. They lost the last game of the second half of the season, and they did it without Manny Ramirez, who didn't show up for personal reasons. And that was a game they got shut out by Detroit. And also Pedro Martinez was given Sunday off after pitching Saturday. They let him go home, so start his vacation early. So a lot of people a little bit chapped about that, because that's a game if the Red Sox had won, they would have been 1 game behind the Yankees, and they ended up getting shut out by the Tigers. So always some controversy with the Red Sox, and now they're losing tonight against the Toronto Blue Jays. Yankees are losing as well, 4-2 as we head to the bottom of the 7th inning, and Hideki Matsui leads off. Fouled away.
Didn't they say Manny had hamstring problems?
They said that Manny, I think his mom was sick.
All right.
And he had called in on Saturday night and said, I'm not going to be able to play. And I think the reason he didn't go to the All-Star game, though, was supposedly because of hamstring problems.
Yeah, okay.
But the reason he missed the Sunday game wasn't a hamstring. It was because of his mom. The 1-1. Grounded to second. John McDonald. 1 away.
Eric Wedge now getting to that area that Joe Torre is used to being in. He'll start figuring out who he's going to bring in, who he's going to match up. Davis does have one complete game. He's got Danny Baez out there to close it out. Got a left-hander Herrera. Also has a veteran and ex-Yankee Terry Mulholland. Terry's pitched for about every team. Herrera getting ready just in case there's a man on with a left-hand hitter coming up.
Here's Posada. Grounded right back to Davis. Nice play. Good stab. 2 away. Hey fans, Saturday, July 19th, that's this Saturday, is Old Timers Day at the stadium, and the Yankees would like to remind you that Old Timers Day ceremonies will begin promptly at 2 p.m. Now, a sellout crowd is expected here, and the gates will open at 12:30 that day. Fans are encouraged to arrive early to avoid the traffic delays, and the Yankees are thanking you in advance for your cooperation. Also, Old Timers Day batting practice goes from 12:30 to 1:30. So just a reminder to I'd say plan about an hour and a half ahead of when you normally would. Game starts at 4, but the old-timer ceremony's at 2. Here's Ventura. He's 1 for 2, but he's 2 for 2 in outstanding plays in the field. And you could see, Kenny, you said you'd trade a bat for a hit any day, but Hideki Matsui is not trading a second bat. Now he's gone back to his old bat. The 2-0 is inside. 3-0. Four 7-0 for the Indians, 2-4-0 for the Yankees. Now they get a right-hander up in the Indians bullpen, David Risky. Aimed to the outside corner on a 3-0 rather than coming right over the plate, 3-1. Strike. Here's Risky.
Had a pretty good year out of the Cleveland bullpen.
Did a good job against the Yankees in the series at Jacobs Field.
Swing and a miss. Fastball up and in. And Davis does not seem to be tiring at all. He has retired 6 in a row after the Soriano 2-run home run. We've played 7 here at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. Cleveland Indians 4, the Yankees 2. Watching the Yankees on the Yes Network. We go to the top of the 8th inning, and Joe Torre makes the singular call to the bullpen. Singular, the wireless company that fits you best, and that call goes out to Chris Hammond. And Hammond will take over for Andy Pettitte. Andy Pettitte did not pitch poorly, was not ultra sharp, but he threw 101 pitches, and Joe turns it over to the lefty in the bullpen now.
41st game, and I think this is going to be the change since Armando Benitez is here. Now you've got guys like Hammond and Osuna that can come in with the Yankees down a couple. Try to keep it a close game. You're right. Pettitte pitched very well. It was just that bunt single, the hit and run. And just like that, they came up with a couple of runs. That's one of those games as a starter. You're in the clubhouse, say, what hit me? I thought I pitched well enough to win.
Casey Blake against Chris Hammond.
You know, we talked about with the addition of Armando Benitez, how it kind of fills out the bullpen and shortens the opportunity for the opposition to score in the late innings. But what it also does for Joe Torre, and you kind of hinted at it there, Kitty, kind of lengthens the role of the bullpenners out there.
That one's popped up left center field. Bernie Williams is there, waves off Matsui. 1 away.
And you know, if a starter has a short start, Joe Torre can go to the bullpen, say in the 5th inning or 4th inning, and get a little more out of his bullpen before and having his team come back and get back in the game. Then you can go to your A guys out of the bullpen.
Yeah, it's going to be real interesting to watch this second half to see what the opposition does in the last 3 innings of the ball game. And you've got Osuna and Hammond, and then Benitez, and then Mariano.
Pitch to Milton Bradley is a strike. Well, this inning with the Yankees trailing would probably have been maybe a Sterling Hitchcock, Jason Anderson inning, because as Jim said, you'd want to save Hammond and Osuna for when you're tied or ahead. There's a fly ball to right field. Mondesi is there. 2 away. Hey, Yankee fans, for the latest news, player updates, Yankee merchandise, and all your ticket needs, all you have to do is visit Yankees.com. Of course, you need a computer, and that is the official website of the New York Yankees.
Shane Spencer.
Here's Shane Spencer. Now, this is an interesting inning that Joe uses Hammond, because Hammond is more effective against righties because his changeup is more effective, and in this inning he'll face 3 righties. And I think he's ill-defined as a matchup lefty because that's not his strength.
Well, and I think, you know, Brian Cashman, as he always does, they're scouring those rosters to see what's out there. And, you know, like to get a guy like Benitez of that quality, when you look at what else is out there that's available, I'm sure they're still looking at a lefty that can match up against left-hand hitters without having to pay too high a price for it.
Wouldn't you think, the guys, that if he got the lefty, then I think they'd be very satisfied with their bullpen?
Yeah, I think they're probably satisfied right now, but that would certainly be that'd be a big plus. I mean, Benitez has got the kind of stuff that he could get. You know, he can get both righties and lefties out.
High fly ball to left field down the line. Matsui has room in the corner. He puts it away for the final out of the inning as Spencer hit it off the end of the bat. So Mel could put down the phone. 1-2-3 inning. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Indians 4 and the Yankees 2. Well, the newest Yankee, Armando Benitez, is warming up in the bullpen. So in all likelihood, he will pitch the 9th inning. Unless the Yankees score 3 runs here, then they'll turn it over to Mariano Rivera for the save. So we will see if this crowd of 46,000 greets him warmly. I would guess that they will.
I think so.
Well, the Yankees have greeted Jason Davis warmly. He has done some job as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Ruben Sierra will lead off. A bit low.
Yeah, it's a win-win if the, like you said, if the Yankees score enough runs to go ahead, they'll bring in Mariano. Otherwise, it's a good situation for Armando because he's going to face the bottom part of the order. Inexperienced hitters, haven't seen him. And it's kind of a nice situation where you can get your sea legs, your feet wet as a Yankee. And it will be interesting. I think he'll get a good response from the crowd.
Fly ball center field. Bradley has plenty of room. 1 away. Let's take a look at the Yankees Visa in-game box score, brought to you by Visa. It's everywhere you want to be. A lot of zeros there. Soriano with a 2-run home run at the top. Jeter, Giambi, Williams, Matsui, Posada hitless. Robin Ventura broken bat single, 1 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. Sierra's now 0 for 3. And Mondesi 1 for 1, a stolen base and a run scored. And that's the Yankee in-game box score. Not many numbers there against Jason Davis. Yankees have managed just 4 hits. Mondesi 1 for 1 with a walk. As we mentioned, that stolen base and a run scored. And now when he laces into right center field, that is going to be a base hit for Mondesi. Gets past Garrett and rolls to the wall. Mondesi's at second. He'll stop right there. And remember, Mondesi was somewhat hobbled at the end of the first half with tendonitis in his left wrist, but he has come out swinging the bat very, very well tonight. Eric Wedge might have seen enough.
I talked to Mondesi before the game around the batting cage about his wrist, and he says it's feeling pretty good. It's actually taped up. The training staff appears to have done a good job with it because he's singled, walked, and now doubled. Been on base every single time up tonight. And hustling into second base with this 2-base hit that will bring the tying run to the plate for the Yankees.
And that tying run will not be against Jason Davis. Eric Wedge takes the ball from Davis, who has thrown 102 pitches, done a nice job. So he will not get a chance to face Alfonso Soriano, who hit the home run against him. The bullpen will. Stay here on Yes. Good night for Jason Davis, but we'll see how good a night it turns out to be. It all depends on the bullpen. He went 7 in the third, 5 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts. Mondesi on second is his responsibility, but the runner at the batter at the plate is David Risky's responsibility. He's had a good first half.
Yeah, when you look at the games and the numbers, we mentioned early in the year talking about the radar gun early in the game. You add up the hits and walks and they equal 45. That's good pitching, same number of innings. He's a guy that kind of throws out of his shirt, and it's difficult for hitters to pick up the ball. That's the book on him.
And they've done a great job, the relievers of the Indians, for Jason Davis. And Soriano fouls one back. That's what you hear about Risky. Just what Jim said. The batters come back and they go, well, his stuff's not that great. but we can't see it.
You don't pick up the ball. That's what the radar gun can't tell you. That's every pitcher has their motion is their own little fingerprint. And if you're fortunate enough to do that like Risky, it's a big advantage.
Popped him up. Sky-high pop-up on the left side. Peralta, two-way. That's a big out for the Indians.
And people might be at home wondering, you know, can you teach that? I don't think you really can. Every pitcher has a motion and a delivery, and there's some guys that throw exceptionally hard. And Kenny would say you see the ball real well. And then you have guys like Risky. Not that he has a bad fastball. He gets it up there pretty good. But in addition, when it looks like it's coming out of that gray shirt on his back, it's just that split second. You see Benitez if it's a tie or the Yankees are behind, and it'll be Mo if they go ahead.
So the bridge in the body of land. Here's Derek Jeter. Jeter's 0 for 2 with a walk. And the count 1-0. Jeter 10 for his last 21, 17 for his last 32.
Notice there's no left-hander warming up in the Indian bullpen, and Jason Giambi's on deck. Well, if you look at Risky's numbers, left-hand hitters only hitting about $160 off him. So he's really as effective or more so against lefties than righties.
Popped up foul, first base side. Broussard giving it a look. And that's all he gets is a look. It's about 8 rows back. So 2 impressive starts for Jason Davis against the Yankees. Didn't get a decision the last time because the Indians won in extra innings, but he's trying to get one here to improve his record to 8-7. And the 2-1. That one's hit deep to left center field. Giving chase is Crisp on the run. That is going to be gone. A 2-run game-tying home run for Derek Jeter. Just over the fence in Death Valley. And the Yankees have tied the game at 4. Derek gets a well-deserved curtain call. Did he power that ball? That was a line drive that just cleared the wall, just to the left of the 399-foot sign. Pitch to Giambi is inside.
That's Derek Jeter jumping on a fastball that was down just a bit. And one of the reasons he was able to time it because the previous pitch had been a fastball and he was just a little late on it. It was up where he couldn't get underneath it. Now here's the previous pitch that he fouls off. Remember Kitty said maybe a little tough to pick up. That had something on it. But the next one's down a little where he can just drop the head of the bat almost in the same area. Just a little bit lower, and Derek was able to time it and hit a solid line drive over the 399 sign in left center.
When that ball cleared the wall, Armando Benitez took an immediate seat. So with a tie game at home, they will bring in Mariano Rivera to pitch the ninth. And with that home run, Andy Pettitte is off the hook. He is no longer the pitcher of record, and neither is Jason Davis.
That Jeter kid's got a way of getting big hits, doesn't he?
Man. The previous pitch just a little here late, but the next one he was right on it.
I think Giambi thought he was struck out.
He sure did. And so did I. I mean, he's getting ready to say, well, there's another one. I mean, where was that pitch? You talk about right down the middle. Oh, a reprieve.
He was looking for the Dale Scott dance step.
Oh, man.
That one's way outside.
What a break that was.
Here it is again, the home run. And it got out of here in a hurry. It had 405 written all over it when it was hit.
Carl Willis wants to go out and calm down David Risky.
Yeah.
Probably wants to say, hey, don't worry about that call. Don't let it upset you. It did on the next pitch, though, because it was way outside.
Well, I mean, there are pitches that are borderline. That one was right down the middle. I really think the umpires are so influenced.
You know, if you're Carl Willis, you stand out here, you're going to wait for the umpire to come out here, and then you're going to give him a little piece of your mind as far as
Yeah, I think that Quest Tech has really got the umpires a little, you know, uncertain, a little edgy behind the plate. Dale Scott doesn't, you know, no umpire misses pitches like that. That's right down the middle.
I'm always curious, what if the pitcher and the pitching coach wait for the umpire to come out there and they start to complain and the umpire says, I blew it? Do you just let it go?
I've heard that before at the plate.
You just let it go.
Yeah, you got to. What can you say? I mean, somebody admits they made a mistake.
Right, we're human.
Here's Bernie Williams, runner on first base. Broussard holds. 4-4 game, bottom of the 8th. Pitch is outside.
I've had umpires say to me, you didn't like that call, did you? No. You know, it's like he's saying, you know, I made a mistake.
Two and 0.
You know, Kitty, you were talking about the Cleveland outfielders playing fairly shallow, and they still are. I think in this instance, you got to back up a step with a man on first and 2 outs. Willing to give up a single. You don't want to give up anything up the gap.
Yeah, they're pretty exposed over there in left center.
Ground ball to second. McDonald's there, and he puts it away with a final out of the inning. But the Yankees tie the game. 2 runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 1 man left. The big blow, Derek Jeter, 6th home run of the year to Death Valley in Yankee Stadium. It's a 4-4 game as we head to the 9th.
One of the beautiful things about women is they don't sweat or smell like a guy. Our body chemistry is just different.
Introducing Arm & Hammer Ultramax Antiperspirant Gel.
It's made for a man's body chemistry.
Ultramax stops odor at the source. So strong, tests show it offers superior odor protection versus the leading gel at 8, 12, even 24 hours.
It's all the muscle a man needs.
New Arm & Hammer Ultramax Gel.
Great shot of the great city of New York on a clear night. The Empire State Building standing as a beacon in the New York skyline. And just across the river, Derek Jeter has just tied the game. And let's take a look at the Keystone combo of the Yankees as they hit their home runs and the difference in them leaving the box on the swings.
This is Soriano's home run. That was in the 6th inning. And this is Jeter's home run last inning. You can see the difference. Now Soriano's hit a few more lately, but still you got to hustle out of the box. Jeter's was a line drive, Soriano's was a high fly ball, but they both maybe 5 feet over the fence.
Well, the Yankees will bring in Mariano Rivera, and he will face Jody Garrett leading off the 9th. It's a 4-4 game. And you do use your closer in a tie game at home because you will never have a save situation after the 8th inning. Your team takes the lead, they're going to win anyway. So the most they'll do is use Rivera, maybe 1, at the most 2, and then we might see Armando Benitez.
Kenny, your ex-teammate Eddie Murray, the Indians hitting coaches, to see Mariano's numbers on the year, only 4 walks, was over there motioning inside, beware of that cutter inside. But I don't care how much you're aware of it, catching up with it's another thing.
Popped up behind the plate, out of play.
There it is right there, in on the hands of Jody Garrett. Yeah, you can be aware of it, but hitting it's a different story.
Even great hitters like Jim Thome, experienced hitters, would tell me even when they move off the plate, it just gets in there so quickly. If you back off the plate, about the only thing you can do is pull it foul.
Yeah, there's a severe left turn in this as it comes up on a left-handed hitter.
And the 1-2. Skied to left field. Matsui is there. One away. Along with Jim Kaat and Ken Singleton, I'm Michael Kay. You're watching Yankees baseball on this Thursday evening right here on the Yes Network, and you have seen a pretty entertaining ball game. It's 4-4. The Yankee runs, a 2-run home run by Soriano, a 2-run home run by Derek Jeter, and on the Indian side, a solo home run by Shane Spencer, an RBI triple by Jhonny Peralta. Then you have an RBI single by John McDonald in the 7th, an RBI ground out by Jhonny Peralta, and that is it. Both starters pitched very well. Andy Pettitte for the Yankees and Jason Davis for the Indians. Now it's up to the bullpen to decide who's going to win this contest. First game of a 4-game set. Pitch to Victor Martinez is hit sharply through for a base hit. Giambi was guarding the line for an extra base hit. He had no chance at that. And Mondesi gets the ball in to Derek Jeter as Martinez kind of dared him to make the throw.
Yeah, Martinez talked to Eddie Murray, the hitting coach in Cleveland, about him, and he said one thing he likes about Martinez from both sides of the plate, his ability to get the barrel of the bat onto the ball. And he mentioned the name Rod Carew when he said that. Remember how Rod, he always seemed how to get the barrel of the bat on the ball,
as opposed to the trademark with the handle. And that's unusual to see a young hitter get the barrel on the ball against Mariano's cutter.
There's Ben Broussard, and the pitch is high.
Indians going to get more speed on the bases here.
Zach Sorensen will come into pinch run for Martinez.
We mentioned Sorensen earlier out of Wichita State.
Pitch runner at first base, number 2, Zach.
I always wonder why a manager does it at 1-0. Does that just mean they forgot?
Must be. Bench coach had to remind him.
Bench coach was getting a drink of water.
Because there's no strategical advantage to doing it at 1-0 rather than 0-0.
Unless now you want to put a hit and run on with your pitcher in the hole, and all of a sudden, you know, you have one of those the hunches.
Wouldn't be a bad idea. You don't figure take Mariano out of the ballpark. You got pesky John McDonald up next, so
hunches or a vision, managerial vision.
Mariano taking a long time between pitches, worried about Sorensen.
After a long hold and then a throw to first, might he come set and then come to the plate quickly.
Yanis Baez, the Indians closer woman. One. Swing and miss. John McDonald's on deck. 4-4 game. We're in the top of the 9th inning at Yankee Stadium. The beginning of the second half of the season. Beginning of a 4-game set for the Yankees and the Indians. Tomorrow night, Saturday afternoon, and Sunday afternoon.
it's like Paul Molitor's little brother. Sorensen.
One-two. Upstairs, 2-2.
You're right. He does have a resemblance to Molly.
Zach Sorensen will hope he has the kind of career Molly had.
Even half the career that Molly had.
2-2. Just missed. We've been saying that an awful lot all night in the count 3-2. Do they send Sorensen? Rivera's a strikeout pitcher. The last time Mariano pitched was on the 13th, so he's been away from the mound for 4 days. Not as sharp. Runner goes. Pitch is swung on and driven to left center field, giving chase Bernie Williams. He's on the run. He's in left center, and he makes the play for the second out of the inning. Hustling back to first is Zach Sorensen. Good jump by Bernie Williams and a good catch. Broussard's pretty impressive to get that kind of drive against Rivera.
A couple pretty good at-bats by Indian left-hand hitters. Pitch out away from him. Here's a jump Michael's talking about. Bernie has it in range, and good base running there by Sorensen. He gets right up to second base so that if the ball's dropped, he can get around and probably score. But if it's caught, he can get back to first base.
Yeah, nice running catch by Bernie, and deep is part of the park. It's a long way for a left-handed hitter.
Sorensen goes. The pitch is a strike. The throw to second is a beauty. They got him. Nailed him. Caught stealing 2-4 as the Yankees are out of the top of the ninth. No runs, a hit, no errors, and because of the caught stealing, nobody left on base. We played 8.5 innings here at Yankee Stadium. The Indians 4, the Yankees 4. Yankees have a chance to win it in the bottom of the ninth.
It's Yankees baseball on Yes. Saturday, the Yanks launch an afternoon attack when they go on the warpath to tackle the Tribe. Join the Yes Network team for complete game coverage Saturday starting at 4, only on Yes, the home of champions.
Boys are exposed to all sorts of mixed messages about relationships.
And the way to treat women and girls. Sometimes the only message boys get is the wrong one. Abusive relationships often start among teens.
But you can help point boys in the right direction.
Start early.
Show them and teach them why violence against women is wrong.
Start early. For tips on what to say, visit www.endabuse.org.
Because the best time to keep a man from becoming abusive is before he becomes a man.
You've got the games. Now go online and get the scoop. Go! YesNetwork.com is your source for New York sports, giving you insider access to the Yankees and the Nets.
Longevity, is paying off.
Log on to YesNetwork.com for original features from Yes Network talent and in-depth on-site coverage from every Yankees home game. Then get interactive with daily polls, message boards, and exclusive multimedia clips.
As a player, you love the excitement of New York.
Plus, shop online at the Yes Gear store. YesNetwork.com, your source for New York sports. On Center Stage, news anchor and author Tom Brokaw discusses the national pastime.
When all else seems to be going wrong in the world, I can tune into a baseball game, and it restores my faith.
Center Stage, Tom Brokaw, premieres tonight after the postgame.
Only on Yes.
Well, it's time for the play of the game as we go to the bottom of the ninth inning. It's brought to you by Continental Airlines, the official airline of the New York Yankees. Continental Airlines, work hard, fly right.
Well, it was Robin Ventura. Quick thinking, tags Peralta, completes the double play. And then just for good measure, he takes an extra base hit away from Peralta. Robin Ventura, trouble with the bat, but he has our Continental Airlines plays of the game.
Well, it's been a fun game so far. Bottom of the ninth inning, 4-4, and David Risky stays on. He will be throwing to Tim Laker. Remember, Victor Martinez got pinch run for. So Laker behind the plate. Matsui leads off the bottom of the ninth against David Risky. Outside.
Laker, a veteran backup catcher. Started his career with the Montreal Expos.
Hit deep to right. Going back is Garrett. He's on the track. At the wall. See ya. Ball game over. Yankees win 5-4. Hideki Matsui with a walk-off home run before 46,000 at the stadium. And the Yankees begin the second half in proper fashion. Oh, what a home run. He's got a little bit of the flair for the dramatic.
I'll say. That had almost the same juice that the Grand Slam on opening day did.
All the Yankee runs today came via the home run. 2-run shot by Soriano, 2-run shot by Jeter, and a game-ending walk-off solo shot by Hideki Matsui.
Well, Risky fell behind, 1 ball and no strikes, and right in Hideki's happy zone. Everybody go home and drive safely.
Yeah, swings like that get your picture on an airplane.
Well, I had that sound, too.
Made the stadium shake and made Matsui smile. So a hit in the All-Star game and a big hit to start off the second half of the season for the New York Yankees. The bench loved it. The crowd loved it. And Matsui loved it as well. A lot of smiles here in the Bronx. We'll come back. We'll break it down. We'll wrap it up. Remember, the postgame follows. You stay right here. Yankees 5, Indians 4 here at Yankee Stadium. Great game.